This is lesson 14. We're refining some of the assumptions we made about floor slabs and openings and that sort of thing. So you enter the building at the ground level. When you go through those doors, you come into an opening, and this is an opening in floor slab 2, right? And then that is floor slab 3, 4, and 5, and then there's a roof attic level, but the space is really completely open to above. It's like 70 feet to the underside of that roof, right? And then we have columns that are holding those things up. So let's go back to this picture. So this is the opening that occurs in floor slab 2, not what I've modeled so far, or that, right? So we enter in here, and then we come through those escalators. So we're going to have to double-click that. Let's go to a top view. Basically, I'm going to select that geometry and delete it. So that heals up that floor. So there are a couple things going on. There's an entrance on this side that we haven't modeled yet. There's an entrance there. So I go in here and I have to come into an opening there. So let's, and then when I enter the corridor on this side, I can go down to an opening on this side. So let's, quick and dirty, create roughly the opening that opens to the escalators that go from the ground floor up to level 2. There's also an opening, the top view. I'm not doing it precisely now, but there is an opening along this wall pretty tight to that side that would need to, if I double click, that gives me that opening. All right, so there's stairs that go down to an entrance over here. Let's close this group and turn on floor slab 3, 4, and 5. That's what we're looking at in this picture. That's the opening that we've made on the floor. There's 3, 4, and 5. And notice that 5 is just above the window, doesn't intersect the window, and we can see it there. Okay? We have a bit more work to do. We need the opening, the entry on the outside. Here's the entry to the tower. And here's that entry on the west wing. So that's going to be, it's almost identical to the first opening there. You notice it has the same shape. So let's save this as, save as, lesson 14. Corrections. You're always going to be doing this kind of detective work. Let's see if I can get a picture. So that second entry is in that second system of openings. It looks there's a different alignment of the windows here. It might be just that let's see if we have that in the drawings. So if I turn on the south elevation, yes, in fact, this window system is different than the one next to it, and there is the opening. So I'm going to take that AutoCAD drawing and move it back, select it from any endpoint, green axis, lock the green axis in place, and snap to that wall. Right? This is going to tell us how to fix those windows. More importantly, this is going to tell us how to model this opening. So the first thing I'll do is model it as we did the others. A rectangular opening of about that height, pushed to the face, right? Looks like this one might be a little bit taller. Shouldn't be. So what I'm going to do with that one is take that face, move it downwards, lock the blue axis in place, and snap to that height. So now those are same height. The arch, easy, 3 points. 1, 2, oh no, let's use this other tool. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to push that same distance, double click. That gives me that opening. We need the southwest elevation drawing in order to draw so the height's a bit different. All right, let's pull it down to match the drawing. I mean, sometimes you make mistakes and your blue axis, I'm going to go to here, to about where that arch begins. Now I'm going to draw the arch. start, endpoint, unface, select that, I've got a problem. Let's draw a little more carefully. Endpoint, endpoint. Does that give us what we need? Nope. So we're snapping to some geometry. One more time. Let's try to draw it from the center. Center and 2 points. Well, that gives me a half circle. That's no good. Three points. Okay, this might give us roughly what we need. Let's see if that closed in that shape. I think that worked. So we're going to delete these lines. Oh. We need a way to divide that line. Not that easy, is it? Let's try that. That and that. So what does this give us? Now we need to connect those ends. I'm kind of cheating. Connecting to the end point just to complete that shape. Let's see if that pushes it out. That'll have to do. All right, you after watching this, you probably thought of 10 ways to improve doing that. Let's close the group. How does this change our views or scenes? Perspectives. Not sure why we're cutting off view there. Anyway, isometric model view. Let's hide guides. Turn off layers that we don't want to see. The floor plan image and southwest elevation. Northeast elevation, northwest, and southeast. And let's update the isometric model view. So it gives us a clean drawing. I'm going to pause there. The other thing I'm going to do is update the shape of this roof slab, which indicates that there's a floor up there. There's actually not, right? This is slab 4, and then what would be the roof is really wide open. So that's got to take the shape of the tower. So I'm going to crop that floor to the shape of the tower. How do I do that? The easiest way to do it is just to draw the shape. I'm just drawing into, whoops, the perimeter there, right? I may have messed up one part because it didn't draw continuous. Okay, let's see if that gave us the shape we want. No. I'll have to get it another way. Let's close this group, modify this. Those don't form lines, do they? Oh, close group. Let's do this brute force. Okay. Oh. I think it's going to be easier to first remove that geometry. That closes up the floor. And now I want to draw endpoint to endpoint. 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 I'm having devil of a time with that. Hide rest of model. Okay, now I can see what's going on. Snap to points above and below. So I believe I can basically do this. Let's push that through. Okay. Nope. Bloody endpoint is giving us a problem. Okay. I don't recommend doing this in this fashion. So I'm just healing up the parts. Much better ways of doing that. By the time you get to this point, you probably don't care anymore. So we could have easily modeled 4 rectangles. Let's close this group. Okay. So floor 4 is essentially this opening plus 4 slabs that cover the rest of the structure there. section long, we don't want to see the outline of the tower opening. Update section long. Let's create a perspective view. Looking towards the tower in that direction, changing to camera perspective. Hiding section cuts. Let's try again. Camera, position camera. Let's start there, looking toward here.